Welcome to Kleppers Corner, the only show brave enough to ask the hard-hitting questions like, are we alone in the universe? Does Bigfoot file taxes? And what the hell is the Pentagon hiding in that broom closet labeled, definitely not UFOs? Tonight, we boldly go where no late-night host has gone before, because the History Channel already beat us to it and replaced all their programming with reruns of Ancient Aliens and shirtless Sasquatch documentaries. This episode is dedicated to the elusive, the unexplained, and the extremely high. We're talking Bigfoot, UFOs, aliens, and the conspiracy-laced casserole that is the American obsession with the unknown. So crack open your FBI redacted documents, grab your night vision goggles, and let's uncover why every UFO lands in either a cornfield or a guy named Earl's backyard. Segment 1, Kenneth Arnold and the birth of the flying saucer. It all started in 1947 when a man named Kenneth Arnold was flying over Mount Rainier and spotted 9 shiny objects zipping through the sky. He described their movement as like a saucer skipping across water, which, to be clear, means he was talking about the motion, not the shape, but leave it to the media to take a metaphor and turn it into branding. Thus, flying saucers were born, and America has been panicking about airborne dinnerware ever since. Arnold's sighting launched a wave of copycat reports because apparently if you tell Americans something might be alien, their response is, I saw it too and it winked at me. The government responded in the most government way possible by launching Project Sign, then Project Grudge, then Project Blue Book, and not one of those projects ever managed to build a working spaceship. Thanks, tax dollars. Their final verdict on Arnold's sighting? A mirage. That's right, your brain saw a UFO, but it was really just heat waves playing charades. Case closed, except for the thousands of people who still say they saw the exact same thing. Funny how mass hallucinations only ever happen when aliens are involved and not during tax season. Segment 2. The Roswell incidents, the alien piñata of conspiracy theories. 2 weeks after Arnold's sighting came the Super Bowl of alien lore, Roswell. A rancher found weird debris. The military said, it's a flying disc, and then immediately said, JK, weather balloon, which you have to admit is the sketchiest reverse card in U.S. history. Decades later, we learned it was a balloon, but a top-secret nuclear detection balloon named Project Mogul, which sounds less like a military project and more like a cryptocurrency Elon Musk made up in a sauna. Of course, that didn't stop people from insisting that aliens crash-landed, and the government covered it up. And if the government really wanted to put conspiracy theories to rest, maybe they shouldn't have stored the wreckage in a facility literally called Area 51. That's not subtle. That's like naming your garage dead body storage and then acting surprised when neighbors start asking questions. Segment 3, Men in Black and the Maury Island disaster piece. Before Arnold even saw his saucers, there was the Maury Island incident, aka the time 2 Harbor Patrol guys claimed a donut-shaped UFO rained metal on their boat, injured a worker, and tragically killed a dog. The first real victim of alien violence, and still not the worst story in the Pacific Northwest involving flying objects. The FBI investigated and called it a hoax, but not before one of the men claimed he was warned by mysterious Men in Black. That's right. This story gave us the first real mention of government agents with too much sunscreen and zero chill. The idea of secret agents showing up to say, don't talk about the UFO might sound ridiculous until you realize that's literally what government officials did after Roswell. Also, 2 Air Force officers investigating the case died in a plane crash, which only poured rocket fuel on the conspiracy fire. And once the words deadly cover-up and aliens appear in the same sentence, it's game over for credibility. Or game on if you're the History Channel. Segment 4, the Gorman dogfight, Top Gun Extraterrestrial Edition. Still, in 1948, Lieutenant George Gorman went full maverick and dogfought a glowing orb over Fargo. And no, it wasn't an overzealous firefly. For 27 minutes, Gorman chased this thing in his P-51 Mustang and said it outmaneuvered him at every turn. A glowing light that jukes a fighter jet like it's playing intergalactic dodgeball? Yeah, that's either aliens or Elon Musk testing out a prototype drone shaped like a Christmas ornament. The Air Force said it was a lighted weather balloon, because apparently every UFO in the 1940s was either a balloon or a government-issued lie. What's wild is that other pilots and a control tower guy also saw the thing, but the official line was still weather balloon, which feels less like an explanation and more like a post-it note they slap on anything weird. Cattle mutilation? Balloon. Blinking lights? Balloon. Uncle Frank's backyard meth lab explosion? Probably a balloon. Segment 5. Bigfoot takes Manhattan, or at least Oregon. Ah yes, we can't have aliens without inviting their terrestrial cousin, Bigfoot. The hairy beast, the forest phantom, the guy who never skips leg day. Bigfoot's biggest cameo came in 1967 when the Patterson-Gimlin film showed a large ape-like figure strutting like he was in a Calvin Klein ad for fur coats. The footage remains either the best cryptozoological evidence ever or the worst furry convention cosplay gone viral. The creature's gait, arm swing, and the dramatic look back have been analyzed more than the Zapruder film, and still no one can agree if it's an ape, a hoax, or just a guy with back problems. What's amazing is how enduring this is. Scientists analyze the stride, the shadows, the muscle movement, and still the debate rages on, which says more about us than about Bigfoot. We want to believe, because if Bigfoot is real, maybe the world still has mysteries left. Or maybe we're all just desperate for a vacation in the woods where we're not hunted by ticks. Segment 6. Betty and Barney Hill, the OG alien abductees. Let's talk alien abductions. And no, not the kind where your buddy gets abducted by a group of MLM salespeople at a Target parking lot. I mean the classic, Betty and Barney Hill. In 1961, the Hills claimed they were taken aboard a UFO while driving through rural New Hampshire. Betty drew star maps. Barney said they inserted cups over his, let's say, data port. They went public with their story after undergoing hypnosis, because apparently in the 1960s, every alien memory was just one swinging pocket watch away. They describe big-headed gray beings doing medical tests, which sounds terrifying until you realize half of it is just a CVS physical with more glowing lights and fewer insurance forms. Skeptics say it was all a dream. And the thing about dreams is, nobody ever dreams about doing their taxes. It's always aliens, flying, or being naked in a high school hallway. But the Hills paved the way. Thanks to them, we now have a genre of stories where people wake up confused, probed, and with a strong aversion to telescopes. Segment 7. Pascagoula, Mississippi. Alien abduction, Southern style. In 1973, Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker were fishing when they said a craft landed and 3 aliens with crab claw arms abducted them. Now, I don't know what's scarier, the aliens or the fact that in Mississippi, this wasn't the weirdest thing that happened that day. Police didn't believe them until they secretly recorded the 2 men's conversation and realized, oh crap, these guys believe this happened. That's when one officer allegedly said, if they're acting, they should be in Hollywood, which is the nicest thing anyone's ever said about Mississippi fishermen. But here's the kicker. Parker later claimed he was abducted again in 1992, which raises the question, are aliens really studying humans, or do they just keep losing Parker's file? A historical marker now commemorates the abduction site, because when in doubt, build a plaque. If aliens do return, at least they'll have something to read while waiting for the next boat of shrimpers. Segment 8, Travis Walton. Fire in the sky, hoax on the ground. In 1975, forestry worker Travis Walton claimed he was abducted by aliens for 5 days. 5 days. You know how hard it is to disappear for 5 days in the woods and come back with a book deal and a movie adaptation? His crew said they saw him zapped by a glowing disc. Cops suspected murder. Walton reappeared and said, nope, just alien stuff. Conveniently, he had also just watched the UFO incident on TV the night before. Suspicious? A little. Skeptics point out that Walton may have faked it to get out of a failed logging contract. Honestly, respect. I made up excuses to avoid Zoom meetings. This guy faked interstellar kidnapping to dodge paperwork. The real mystery here isn't whether Travis was abducted. It's why aliens keep abducting people who live near forests and trailer parks. If they're watching us, their sample set is incredibly skewed toward guys who own more camo than cutlery. Segment 9, Global Weirdness, Florence's Flying Cigar, and Sweden's Space Tourists. Let's go global, because America doesn't own the rights to batshit encounters. In 1954, during a soccer match in Florence, Italy, 10,000 fans saw cigar-shaped UFOs hover above the stadium, and then silvery threads called angel hair fell from the sky. That's either an alien calling card or pasta night gone cosmic. Scientists studied the angel hair and found weird chemicals: boron, magnesium, and calcium, which honestly sounds like every health supplement sold by Joe Rogan. Then there's Sweden, 1946. A man named Gösta Karlsson claimed he met aliens in the woods, talked to them, and took souvenirs. Sweden, the land of IKEA and meatballs, now has a Bigfoot-shaped UFO monument. Why? Because apparently, even in Sweden, weird guys who hang out in forests get statues. Segment 10. The government gets weird. Finally admits, yeah, some stuff's weird. For decades, the government's UFO response was the same as their Wi-Fi password, classified. But in recent years, something changed. Over 700 UAP sightings were filed between 2023 and 2025. And for once, the Pentagon didn't say it's Venus or swamp gas. They said, yeah, we don't know what the hell that was. We've got orbs, we've got jellyfish-shaped sky floaters, we've even got glowing green fireballs. That's not a defense report, that's a Marvel villain lineup. Add to that the Tic Tac UFO story from Navy pilot David Fravor, a craft that dropped 80,000 feet in under a second, which means either aliens exist or physics is just an elaborate prank we've been playing on ourselves. And of course, we've got whistleblowers like David Grush claiming there are non-human biologics, which is a terrifying phrase, by the way. It sounds like what I found in the back of my fridge last week. The government insists they're not hiding aliens. They're just hiding stuff that might be aliens. Big difference. Semantics matter. Segment 11. Bigfoot. Still roaming, still viral. Meanwhile, Bigfoot refuses to be left out of the action. In Idaho, a man on an ATV filmed a massive figure walking through the trees. Naturally, he did what anyone would do, panicked and sped off like Scooby-Doo just saw a ghost. Colorado has been a hotbed of Bigfoot sightings lately, too. Video shows something big and hairy trudging around. Could be Bigfoot, could be a guy who took his furry fetish too far. The point is, Bigfoot lives, not in the flesh necessarily, but in the hearts of every Reddit conspiracy thread and every uncle who insists the government is tracking him through squirrels. Segment 12. The unexplained endures because we need it to. Here's the thing, whether it's UFOs, aliens, or Bigfoot, these stories won't go away because deep down, we don't want them to. We want mystery. We want something bigger than ourselves. We want to believe that we aren't alone. And also that Bigfoot isn't just a tall guy named Gary who got lost at Burning Man. These stories endure not because they're true or false, but because they speak to a truth about us, that we're curious, that we crave wonder, and that we'll believe in the improbable because sometimes the reality is too damn boring. So until aliens land on the White House lawn or Bigfoot hosts SNL, we'll keep looking up and wondering what's out there. That's it for this Kleppers Corner. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and if you see something shiny in the sky, just remember it's either an interstellar visitor or another billionaire testing out his ego in drone form. Good night, Earthlings.